Welcome to episode 12 of the History of AI podcast.
AI-powered future, a utopia or a dystopia?
Yeah. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into some really fascinating material about the future of AI, and it seems like there are two diverging paths here. One of unprecedented progress and prosperity,
Okay.
and one of control, inequality, and existential risk.
Yeah, that's a crucial conversation to have, especially now with all the advancements we're seeing.
Yeah.
The potential benefits are huge,
Right.
but so are the potential downsides.
Good defo.
We really need to explore both to make informed choices about the future we're creating.
Absolutely. Let's start with the potential.
Okay.
Some of the things being done with AI right now seem straight out of science fiction.
Yeah.
We're talking about ending disease, poverty, solving global crises,
What?
and even pushing the boundaries of human potential.
What's amazing is that we're already seeing glimpses of this potential in action.
Yeah.
Take healthcare, for example. DeepMind's AlphaFold has managed to solve the protein folding problem,
Oh, yeah. I remember reading about that.
something that baffled scientists for decades.
Can you explain exactly what protein folding is
Sure.
and why solving it is such a big deal?
Absolutely. So think of proteins as the tiny machines that power all living things.
Okay.
They're made up of chains of amino acids
Right.
that fold into incredibly complex 3D shapes.
Oh, wow.
The way a protein folds determines its function.
Okay.
And for years, scientists struggled to predict how these folds would happen. AlphaFold using AI can now accurately predict these structures.
So instead of spending years and tons of money
Yeah,
trying to figure out how a protein folds,
exactly.
scientists can now use AI to get a fast and accurate prediction.
Exactly. This opens up a whole new world for designing drugs that target specific proteins involved in diseases,
Wow.
potentially leading to faster cures for things like malaria and Parkinson's.
Yeah.
In fact, there are companies like in silico medicine that are already using AI to design completely new drugs in a fraction of the time it used to take.
So we could be talking about new drugs developed in days instead of decades.
Yeah.
That would revolutionize healthcare.
And it's not limited to healthcare.
Right.
AI is tackling massive problems in other areas like food security.
Okay.
In India, for instance, they've implemented an AI-powered system to optimize their food distribution network.
Okay, what does that actually mean? How can AI optimize food distribution?
Imagine an AI system that can analyze weather patterns, crop yields, transportation routes, and consumer demand all at once.
Okay.
It can then suggest the most efficient ways to get food from where it's grown to where it's needed,
Right.
minimizing waste and spoilage.
Makes sense.
This system in India has actually resulted in a 30% reduction in food waste,
Wow.
meaning they can feed an additional 100 million people.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So AI isn't just about futuristic robots. It's about using data and algorithms to solve real-world problems right now.
Exactly, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
AI is also being used to predict and mitigate the effects of climate change.
Okay.
Google's Flood Hub, for example, uses AI to predict floods a week in advance,
I've heard about that.
giving people time to prepare and evacuate.
It's already operational in 80 countries, right?
It is.
Seems like a real lifesaver.
And then there are initiatives like the forest drones developed by Boston Dynamics.
yeah.
These robots are being used to plant thousands of trees a day to combat deforestation.
I have to admit, seeing those robots in action is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Feels like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
But it's happening right now. What other kinds of things are being done in the environmental sector?
Well, IBM has a program called Green Horizon that uses AI to optimize wind energy efficiency.
Okay.
They've seen efficiency improvements of up to 40%.
Wow.
Imagine that being applied across all renewable energy sources.
That would be a huge step towards a more sustainable future.
Exactly. And there's even the potential for AI to help us unlock completely new energy sources. Researchers are using AI to control and optimize nuclear fusion experiments,
Okay.
which could one day lead to a virtually limitless source of clean energy.
It sounds like AI could be the key to solving some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Yeah.
But I know there are also concerns about the potential downsides of AI.
Right.
That's where the idea of a dystopian future comes in, right?
Yeah. Yes, as powerful as AI is,
Right.
there's the potential for it to be misused
Okay.
or to have unintended consequences that could lead us down a less desirable path.
Yeah.
One of the biggest concerns is the potential for job displacement
Right.
as AI-powered automation takes over tasks currently performed by humans.
It seems like every day there's a new article about robots taking over jobs.
Yeah.
What kind of impact are we talking about here?
A McKinsey study predicts that by 2030, as many as 800 million jobs could be lost globally to automation. Jobs like truck driving, cashier work, and even some legal tasks are being automated as we speak.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
What happens to all those people who lose their jobs? Will new jobs emerge?
Yeah.
Or will we be left with a massive unemployment problem?
That's a question a lot of people are grappling with.
Right.
Some experts argue that new jobs will inevitably emerge, just as they always have throughout history.
Okay.
Others worry that this time might be different.
Right.
That AI could lead to a widening gap between the cognitive elite, who can work with and control AI, and those who are left behind.
It's a sobering thought.
Yeah.
It feels like we're on the verge of a massive societal shift. And it's hard to predict how it will all play out.
It is, and beyond the economic implications, there are concerns about AI being used for surveillance and control.
Right.
We're already seeing the rise of facial recognition technology being used by governments and corporations.
Yeah.
And that raises serious questions about privacy and freedom.
For example, China's social credit system uses AI to track people's behavior and assign them a score that affects their access to loans, travel, and even social standing.
Yeah.
That's a pretty chilling example of how AI can be used for social control.
It's a very real example of the potential downsides of this technology.
Definitely.
And then there's the issue of AI being used to develop autonomous weapons systems.
Right.
Imagine drones or robots capable of making life or death decisions without human intervention.
That sounds terrifying. Are there already examples of this kind of technology being developed?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh.
Turkey, for example, has developed an autonomous drone called the Kargu 2 that's capable of identifying and attacking targets without any human input.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
It feels like we're stepping into a whole new era of warfare, one where human control is being diminished.
That's a valid concern. And then, of course, there's the ultimate fear, the development of artificial general intelligence, or AGI. This is AI that surpasses human intelligence in every domain and could potentially pose an existential threat to humanity.
The idea of a super-intelligent AI turning against humanity has been a staple of science fiction for years.
Yeah.
But is it something we should be genuinely worried about?
It's a question that's being debated by some of the brightest minds in AI research.
Yeah.
While a Hollywood-style AI takeover might seem far-fetched, even a seemingly harmless AI system could have unintended consequences that spiral out of our control. For example, imagine an AI system designed to maximize efficiency in a factory.
Right.
If that system decides the most efficient way to achieve its goal is to eliminate all human workers, we could have a serious problem.
It's a chilling reminder that even with good intentions, AI development needs to be approached with caution.
Absolutely.
It sounds like we need to be very careful about how we develop and deploy this technology to avoid these dystopian outcomes.
Absolutely. The future of AI isn't predetermined. It's being shaped by the choices we make today.
Right.
We need to have these conversations.
Yeah.
Consider the potential risks and benefits.
Right.
And work towards creating a future where AI is used to empower humanity, not control or endanger it.
I agree. So we've explored some pretty amazing potential benefits of AI, but also some very real concerns about where it could all lead.
Right.
It feels like we're at a crossroads. What can we do to make sure AI is a force for good and not for ill?
Well, the good news is that a lot of people are thinking about these very questions. From researchers and tech developers to policymakers and ethicists.
Right.
There's a growing movement to establish ethical guidelines and regulations for AI development and deployment.
That's reassuring. Can you give me some specific examples of what's being done?
The European Union is leading the way with its proposed AI Act. It aims to ban the use of facial recognition technology in public spaces. And requires companies to be transparent about how their AI systems worked, especially in high-risk applications.
That sounds like a step in the right direction.
Right.
What about here in the U.S.?
The U.S. is taking a slightly different approach. There's a lot of focus on promoting innovation while also addressing concerns about AI safety and bias.
Right.
There's a lot of debate about the best way to balance those competing priorities.
It does seem like a tricky balancing act.
Yeah.
We don't want to stifle innovation.
Right.
But we also don't want to unleash something we can't control. What are some of the specific concerns about AI bias?
Well, AI systems are trained on massive data sets.
Okay.
And if those data sets reflect existing societal biases,
Right.
the AI systems can perpetuate and even amplify those biases.
Makes sense.
For example, an AI system used for hiring might unfairly discriminate against certain groups
Right.
if it's been trained on data that reflects historical hiring biases.
So it's not that AI is inherently biased,
Right.
but that it can reflect the biases that already exist in our society.
Exactly, and that's why it's so important to have diverse teams working on AI development to ensure that these systems are designed and deployed in a fair and equitable way.
Are there any specific initiatives or organizations working to address this issue?
Yes, there are groups like the Algorithmic Justice League that are actively working to identify and mitigate bias in AI systems.
Okay.
They're advocating for more transparency and accountability
Right.
in how these systems are developed and used.
It sounds like there's a lot of work being done to try to steer AI in a positive direction. Are there any other promising developments you'd like to highlight?
One of the most exciting areas is explainable AI or XAI.
Okay.
The idea is to develop AI systems that can explain their decisions to humans
Okay.
in a way we can understand.
So instead of just giving us an answer,
Yeah.
an XAI system would actually tell us how it arrived at that answer.
Precisely. This is crucial for building trust in AI systems.
Sure.
If we can understand why an AI made a particular decision, we're less likely to blindly follow its recommendations,
Right.
especially if those recommendations could have negative consequences.
That makes a lot of sense. Are there any real-world examples of XAI being used?
DARPA, the U.S. military's research agency,
Okay.
is funding a project called Gamete that aims to develop AI systems that can explain their decisions in a way that's understandable to military commanders.
Okay.
It's a good model for how we could apply XAI in other high-stakes situations.
So if we can get AI to explain its reasoning,
Yeah,
we can start to build more trust and accountability.
right.
That seems essential if we
Yeah.
want to avoid those dystopian scenarios we talked about earlier.
Absolutely. But even with all these efforts to guide AI development in a responsible way,
Yeah.
there's still the fundamental question of what happens when AI becomes truly intelligent,
Okay.
when it surpasses human capabilities across the board.
Right.
That takes us into some uncharted territory.
You're talking about artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
Yes, yeah.
What are some of the thoughts on what a future with AGI might look like?
Well, some futurists,
Okay.
like Ray Kurzweil,
Right.
believe that we're headed towards a technological singularity,
Okay.
a point in time when AI becomes so intelligent that it surpasses human understanding
Wow.
and can even redesign itself at an exponential rate.
Okay.
It's a difficult concept to grasp,
Yep.
but it essentially means AI could become vastly more intelligent than humans.
And what happens then? Does humanity become obsolete?
Yeah.
Is that where the real risk lies?
It's hard to say for sure, but that's certainly one of the concerns.
Okay.
If we create an intelligence that's far beyond our own,
Right.
how can we ensure that its goals align with ours?
Right.
How can we control something that's potentially far more powerful than us?
It sounds like we need some safeguards in place.
Yeah.
But how do you even begin to control something that's constantly evolving and learning at such a rapid pace?
It's a challenging problem, and there are no easy answers. But some researchers are working on concepts like value alignment, which aims to ensure that AI systems are designed with human values and goals in mind.
So instead of just focusing on making AI more intelligent,
Right.
we need to make sure it's intelligent in a way that benefits humanity.
Exactly. We need to be thinking about the ethical implications of AGI long before it becomes a reality.
Yeah.
We need to be asking ourselves what kind of future we want to create
Right.
and how we can ensure that AI helps us achieve that future, not derail it.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
It seems like we're on the verge of something truly monumental, a turning point in human history. It's both exciting and terrifying at the same time.
I agree. We're in a unique position to shape the future of AI,
Okay.
but it requires careful consideration
Right.
and a willingness to have these tough conversations.
Yeah.
The choices we make now will have a profound impact on the future of humanity.
It's a lot to process, this idea that we're potentially creating something that could become more intelligent than us.
Yeah.
It raises so many questions about the future of humanity.
Yeah.
What does it even mean to be human in a world where AI might surpass us in every way?
It's a profound question,
Yeah.
and one that philosophers and scientists alike are grappling with.
Right.
Some believe that the rise of AI could lead to a new era of human evolution,
Okay.
where we merge with technology to enhance our capabilities.
Okay.
Imagine a future where we can seamlessly connect our minds to AI systems,
Mm-hmm.
accessing vast amounts of information instantly, or communicating telepathically with others.
That sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
Yeah.
But are we actually getting close to that kind of technology?
We're making significant strides in that direction.
Right.
Companies like Elon Musk's Neuralink are developing brain-computer interfaces
Right.
that could one day allow us to interface directly with computers and AI systems.
Okay.
It's still early days, but the potential is there.
It's mind-blowing to think about the possibilities,
Yeah.
but also a bit unsettling. What happens to our sense of self, our individuality,
Yeah.
if we become so intertwined with technology?
That's one of the big ethical dilemmas we'll have to face.
Right.
It raises questions about identity,
Okay.
consciousness,
Right.
and what it truly means to be human.
Yeah.
Some even believe that we'll eventually be able to upload our consciousness into digital form, achieving a kind of digital immortality.
Digital immortality.
Yeah.
So even after our physical bodies die, our minds could live on in a virtual world.
That's the idea.
Wow.
It's a concept that's both fascinating and a bit frightening.
Right.
It challenges our fundamental understanding of life and death.
It's a lot to wrap my head around.
Yeah.
But it seems like these aren't just abstract philosophical questions anymore.
Right.
We're actually approaching a point where these scenarios could become reality.
We are, and that's why it's so crucial to have these conversations now.
Yeah.
To think critically about the implications of AI.
Right.
And to make conscious choices about the kind of future we want to create. It's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about how we use it and what values we embed in it.
So what can we do as individuals to ensure that AI is used for good and not for ill?
The most important thing is to stay informed and engaged.
Okay.
Educate yourself about AI, its capabilities, its limitations,
Right.
and its potential impact on society.
Yeah.
The more we understand about this technology,
Right.
the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions about its development and use.
So no more burying our heads in the sand.
Exactly. We need to be active participants in shaping the future of AI.
Well,
Support organizations and initiatives that are working to promote responsible AI development.
okay.
Like the Algorithmic Justice League or the Future of Life Institute.
Right.
Advocate for policies that prioritize ethical considerations in AI research and deployment.
It sounds like there's a lot we can do even as individuals to help steer AI in the right direction.
Absolutely. The future of AI is not predetermined.
Okay.
It's being shaped right now by the choices we make,
Right.
the conversations we have,
Yeah.
and the actions we take.
Makes sense.
It's a collective responsibility and one that we can't afford to ignore.
This has been a truly eye-opening conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned a lot about the incredible potential of AI, but also the very real risks that we need to be mindful of.
Yeah.
It's clear that we're standing at a pivotal moment in history, and the decisions we make now will have far-reaching consequences.
I agree. The future of AI is intertwined with the future of humanity.
Right.
It's up to us to ensure that this powerful technology is used to create a better world for everyone, not just a select few.
Well said. I think our listeners will have a lot to ponder after this deep dive into the world of AI.
Yeah.
It's a topic that's sure to spark debate and discussion for years to come.
As AI researcher Stuart Russell warns, AI could entrench the worst of human biases or destroy us by accident.
Thank you for listening to the History of AI podcast.